Hello, and welcome to Leash Dad's podcast. This is Jared.
I'm Justin.
We are two leash dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while chained to our parental responsibilities. And Happy New Year. It is the first one of the new year. We're going to be talking about 2024 and our hopes and ambitions for it.
Ooh, big words. Big words. Hopes. Okay, hopes is small. Ambitions is one, a little bigger. So I'll take it. But yeah, I can't believe it's already the third day. Well, for you that will be listening later on, it shall be like the 7th day of the month of the new year as well. Crazy how all of a sudden it feels like we're halfway through the month after a weekend.
Yeah.
Not even, but it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, almost a full week into the new year already, and I feel like it's been very eventful. No, by that I mean my work week is short yet again. I only have three full days. I will have gone to a work Christmas party, essentially. I know it's funny because my Christmas/holiday party is after Christmas and in a month after instead of during Christmas time. So it's one of those things. But I will probably have thrown so many axes at people that I might end up incarcerated. Kidding. I'll be killing zombies. But I am going axe throwing. Or I will have gone axe throwing with my team. It's going to be really weird. I say that because I'm not the only guy, right? There's Dr. Han, who is the other male. But his role is much more, more or less he's like probably the most common form of male when it comes to the dental side of things, rather than being like a male ortho assistant or dental assistant. He again is the doctor, so that's probably more. If you look at stats there, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So it'll be two males and a lot of females going to that party. But it'll still be a good time. So we'll do a little gift exchange and whatnot, and however the rest of it works out. So probably a lot of food and a lot of drinking going on. So I may not even remember what I'm talking about throughout the night. Throughout the night.
Well, no,
So
you don't get
that actually
too,
happens.
don't get,
Yeah, I will. I'll try not to. I still have to. I'll have to be able to walk home. I have to basically cross the street, for a couple streets, but it won't be too bad. So I'm looking forward to it. But that's actually one of those goals is to start off strong with the team and the new year as well. So one of my hopes and ambitions, having a really strong relationship with my team and whatnot. So we'll see how that pans out. What about you? Your week, more or less.
as far as my week, or what's coming up? Well,
Anything, you know that.
we'll do both. I'm back to being burnt out and just hard to be the jarred potential guy these last couple days. We had a death in my team's family. One of my coworkers, unfortunately.
My condolences.
Very sad. Very sad. Unexpected, very young. So it's hard for all of us, not just from the work aspect, but also, because we are close as a team. And I don't know, I can't imagine what she's going through, but I can definitely empathize with her situation. So, but my youngest is going through sleep regression. So sleep is slim to nil in the household. And I'm getting better, though. I feel somewhat better. My sinuses seem to be okay. Knock on wood. Kids are sick again, but I am healing-ish. And New Year's was fun. We broke the tradition of steak and lobster, which needed to be done. Hmm? Yeah,
Man.
yeah. After 7 or 8 years of that, I just said, you know what, I want some Chinese food. I haven't had Chinese food in forever.
Sadly enough, they're like the
So
only place that's open on a New Year too.
yeah, they were slammed, man. They were busy as all hell.
Yeah, because they're the only like restaurants that are open. But wait till the middle of the month here, where they're gonna close for like an entire 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Like you're not gonna be able to find
Um,
any Chinese restaurant open.
right. But no, it was delicious. It felt good not to run around and do all the lobster and steak. It really was a nice, relaxing evening. So
Nice,
yeah,
I like it. Yeah, you're on
and then
the you're
back
on
to
the
work
flip
right
side of
January 2nd.
Yeah, there you go. I
No
know.
rest.
It really felt. I hated it too because that was my longest day of the week. It's actually going to feel weird going from 2 3-day work weeks to a full work week of 4 days. And I say it's going to be weird just because having only six work days and 10 days, I guess, versus 8 or whatever, 8 and
Yeah,
7 or 14 or whatnot. So, or 6 and 14, and now going back to 8 and 14. So, in regards to pay period and whatnot, so it's just gonna be weird, but we'll get over it. It'll be nice to kind of get back into a Monday swing or get into the full routine again. Might be a little more chaotic, who knows? But it's a new year, so uh, all everybody gets to start fresh, essentially. So, yeah. No, I'm glad. You say you're on the mend or have gotten a lot better. I feel like I'm on the other
it's
side
a
of that.
little better.
Yeah, a little better. That's better than what I'm feeling right now.
Oh boy.
I tell you, my household cannot get healthy. What to save our lives right now? I think we just have to basically purge our house and sanitizer. I've thought about it this morning. I'm like, I should just drink a bottle of sanitizer.
But really, I
Purge
mean,
my-
yes, that's a good idea. But with them in school, does it really work? Was it worth it?
Me drinking a bottle of sanitizer is not going to
Oh
do
no, I
anything for
meant
me. If anything, I'll be in.
no. Not JJ drinking a bottle of bleach. That's good for nobody.
I'm not drinking a bottle of bleach. I'm drinking a bottle of that hand sanitizer. You just go chug, chug, chug. That's still not good for you, anyways. Um, it's really not.
No.
I'm not saying try it. Don't do it by any means. It's one of those things. I will not do it. I've thought about it. I'm like, hey, maybe that would help me get better.
You're
It'll make
better
the
off
misery end.
drinking like 100 proof vodka or whatever and like
Don't
doing
tempt
it
me with a
that
good
way
time.
instead of
Don't
yeah.
tempt me with a good time. So I don't even think they have. I'd have to go find a bottle of 100 proof vodka somewhere. I don't think they actually make it because at that point it's just almost like Everclear.
Yeah, I mean you could do that too.
Uh, I've done Everclear a
Because
couple times.
Everclear is grain alcohol, which I guess could technically be vodka, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It might be. I've never actually taken a look at the bottle and said, "Oh, yep, it's definitely a vodka or whatnot." But then again, I don't really care. So, alcohol is alcohol. It goes down and it comes out eventually. It goes through your bloodstream. But yeah, no. So, that's that. I wish I had some good news in regards to children or proud moments. I really don't this week. It's kind of not saying my children have been misbehaved. I just feel like this week there
I
hasn't
am.
really been much. You've been
They've
misbehaved?
been nightmares.
They well, I mean,
The
it is what
talk
it is,
back,
I
the
guess.
mouth, the screaming and fighting and not listening. Yep, it's all happening right now.
I'm so sorry. You should
Yeah,
reprimand them.
I
Reprimand
have.
your children.
Nothing seems to
Nothing
work.
seems to stick. Not sticking at all. That's unfortunate. Is it
You
because
don't
mommy's
listen to
not
me.
at work?
You don't get to watch TV. Okay, I don't
Oh,
get to
see,
watch TV. I'm not listening to you still.
it's a lose-lose for you at that point.
Yep.
They don't get to watch TV. They don't really care. They're just not going to listen to you. They'll find something else to do while still ignoring dad. Yeah,
Right.
good
Yeah.
stuff.
Always.
My little girl's still daddy's girl most of the time.
She probably will be for the rest, of her childhood, probably.
Yeah, probably. Not gonna lie. I mean, she'll still go to mom too, but daddy will be her. You know, she'll be the neck and daddy will be the head. Twist me around all over the place.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, that's probably what the girls are trying to do to you right now, too, right? Not so much being a daddy's girl or daddy's girls, but try to twist it around and, you know, twist you around their little finger. Have you wrapped
Yep.
around their finger or whatever? Yeah. Is it working?
Yeah, it is.
I like to think it doesn't sometimes, but then again, maybe it's because I'm already wrapped around her little finger and don't even accept it really. But no,
Embrace
I
it.
try to. I don't want to embrace it. I just think I also like to think that I'm not necessarily wrapped around her finger because I do say no, or you understand. Like when it comes to her crying, I know that it's fake, or sometimes it's fake, and then you see the actual tears come down. It's like okay, fine, whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's only so much I really want to handle versus, I've told her no, it needs to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be times I let her just suffer, and she needs to actually do the self-soothing her as well, or self-calming. But then to some degree, it's just like, nope, I'm just not going to deal with it today. So I think there's the level of tolerance. How much am I really going to tolerate today versus
Right.
the next day? So, um, who knows? Maybe that's where people think that some people are wrapped around their daughter's fingers if they're, whatnot. Or people will be like, you're wrapped around her finger. It's like, no, my tolerance isn't just, it's a very low tolerance right now. So I'm going to do whatever I can to make myself better.
Yeah.
Because I know that's kind of, I feel like sometimes with Sam, for example, she's extremely, tired or like will have headaches and whatnot. So the tolerance or her tolerance for things going on is very low. Like the loud noises, right? That's gonna, make it worse. Or um, sometimes like she does get migraines, so like the sense or the light. So she's trying to do everything she can to prevent all that. Um, it just makes it worse for her. So trying to
Yeah.
manage manage her own tolerance of what she can handle or whatnot, or not able to handle. But yeah, so I think that's kind of where it's really at is how well can where's your level of tolerance at for the day, and is it are you just trying to please yourself more so you don't have to worry about that and move on? So other people just call it wrapped around their finger.
Call it what you want.
Most often, most often, most often they'll call it you're wrapped around your daughter's finger or whatnot. So, but yeah. As far as hopes and ambitions here, though, I hope my daughter will actually get through it, through the whole whining phase and stop it. I know it's also probably because she's teething still, um,
Yeah.
which just doesn't help on top of that, especially when you get multiple teeth coming in at the same time. Uh, yeah, one of these days, I swear, they'll be done. And then Arlo will just finally lose his tooth that's loose. Mom keeps telling him that he'll have to go in and they'll have to numb him up. And she just told him tonight that they'd put a shot in his mouth, a big ass needle
Oh
goes into his
no.
mouth. I'm like, no, they might not do that. They may just be able to pull it out.
Right.
I just want to pull it out. He's got his permanent tooth coming in, and if he
See,
doesn't
look,
take it out, it's going to cause problems.
son, I'm technically a dentist. Just let me do it.
I don't have a degree in dentistry, but I
I
have.
said technically. I didn't say you were.
I know. But mommy won't even let me pull it out. She's like, nope, you won't. You don't get to pull it out. I'm
Oh,
like, I don't necessarily plan on actually pulling it out. I just want to. I sit there and wiggle it for him too. I'm like, we need to start working on wiggling it more, where you're like, because he'll just do like the baby wiggle, so back and forth, like kind of really quick. But now I'm
well, you
talking
got to
like
really get
you
on
need.
her.
So he goes like this. He goes like this, right? Just sorry, this. But now we
Yeah.
got to work on going like all the way forward and all the way back to loosen it more and more.
Yep.
And Sam started doing that tonight, and I started doing it when I came home today from work and whatnot. It's just I don't think he necessarily plays with his tooth enough to actually do anything about it, except for when we say to play with the tooth. So maybe one of these days he'll just bite into an apple if we give him an apple or whatever, or he'll, if he's at school and bites into the apple and loses it, sweet, finally, whatever, right? Um, do you remember losing your first tooth?
Yes, I was in San Francisco eating a piece of pizza.
You were where?
San Francisco, visiting my aunt.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah. What did I? I don't actually remember when I lost my first tooth. That's kind of sad. Must not have been very eventful either. Just kind of happened. It came out, and the tooth fairy came after I put it under my pillow and gave me money. So it was a good time. Definitely a good time. But yeah, oh well. So that's my hope for Arlo, is that he eventually just lets us either take it out for him, or he's going to be going to the dentist and getting it extracted via. They probably won't numb him up. That they'll probably actually give him laughing gas or nitrous oxide and just pull it.
Right.
It'll be
I
a hell
doubt
of a
they
lot
use the
cheaper.
needle.
No, the only time I think they would really use the needle is if they need to pull it and there's no sign of it actually being loose. And that's what I should just tell my wife. It's like, they're not, because Kane had done something very similar in the past where they needed to pull his teeth because he started looking like a shark in a sense, where he had the back teeth and then the front teeth still. Now, when little children get their permanent teeth and start getting their permanent teeth, they're gonna have like little ridges on the teeth, but those eventually go. It's hard to show, as you and I don't have those because we've actually already ground them down basically into what our teeth are now. But they're little. Essentially, they're just little bumps for those that actually know or have seen it. They're just little bumps on your teeth. And once your teeth once you get more permanent teeth, you start kind of grinding down. It's not like it's a bad thing when you grind down. It's just how it disappears, and becomes the flat surface, or that incisal edge, for example, that's on your fronts here, the incisal edge, that you kind of rip your meat apart with. So yeah, you can definitely tell when you look at his tooth that you can see those ridges. I'm like, oh, cool. I've actually, this is the first time I'm noticing those ridges, especially since I've gone through training and know that now that they actually are there, rather than be like, oh, cool. So things you notice more when you go through schooling or training for a different position. You start focusing more on like the mouth. So yeah, hopefully he does that. Don't necessarily want him to go to the dentist to get it pulled, rather have him do it on his own. So we'll see how that all plans out or plays out in the long run. But there was some things here that I thought about as well in regards to like hopes and dreams or ambitions or plans for 2024 here. I actually focused, I think, a little more kind of on like a personal side of things. Same. I think it's very important.
Couple.
I do have like one thing that we could probably discuss, but there's another thing that I would love to do on the side with you, good sir. And we'll probably definitely have to talk about that later on. So, but yeah, did you want to start with some goals or what you had planned? Since I know you said you feeling burnt out, especially since you haven't touched jarred potential or haven't felt like jarred potential?
Yeah, sure. I can do it. So, and actually, jarred potential isn't even on my list. That is how I am. So, top of the list, continue on self-care. That's probably why it's not on the list, because
Isn't that part of that?
that's there.
Isn't that part of jarred potential?
Stretching myself a little too thin needs to stop. We want to take a family trip this year. We want to go on a plane, whether it's like San Diego Zoo or like the SeaWorld in San Antonio. I don't know. We just want to get out this summer, go on a vacation for once instead of staying in Wisconsin and just petering around, you know.
I don't blame you.
We are we're in the process of planning the financial aspect of it. But it'll really come to fruition when taxes come, as most of you parents with young kids under like 16 know. You know, there are some credits out there for, you know, our little ones. So we'll look for that. I really want to take a lot of the summer and do a lot of landscaping myself. Now that they can find they being the kids, they can keep themselves somewhat entertained and also be a helpful assistant with digging in the dirt and also, you know, helping with that kind of stuff. I would like to take some projects in our backyard and just get them out. For example, there's a rotted ass stump of wood hidden by a bunch of hostas. That's got to go. There's a bunch of just dumb things hidden in our yard with hostas because the previous owners loved hostas for some reason, and they spread like wildfire, and they're thick and dense and yeah. And that with that being said, also the house projects, our back hall hasn't been painted since we moved in, mainly because it's one of those, and listeners on Spotify or whatever podcast, imagine you have your stairs, right? So it goes down, but there's no reduction in the ceiling. The ceiling is a straight line. So when you're at the bottom of the stairs, it's like 10 plus feet above your head of ceiling and wall space, because there's a closet above the stairs that you have to get either scaffolding for or just risk your balls on a ladder and pray you don't mess up. So that I definitely want to do ASAP, as well as finish the grouting on the showers, which I have not had time to do yet because I need to be left alone. Because that, obviously, for people who haven't done it, the process for grout, you know, slack it on, you get it in the grooves, and then it's pretty timely. You have to get at it with the wet sponge to get all the excess off and let it set inside the grooves. And it's a process. You have to continually be on it. I can't be doing it and then I got to make lunch, or I got to change a diaper, or you know, I got to help somebody do this. So I haven't had time to really dedicate myself to that, as well as continue with my self-care. I want to start doing date nights with my wife on a monthly basis, get that going again. I'm not quite sure how realistic that'll be since she works nights and weekends, but I'll try. I will definitely put my best. What?
Does she always
just
work
nights and weekends? Yep. Oh. I'll do my best with that. Maybe work on some further goals at work. I am not sure how much I want to stress about that, but it'd be nice to hope and pray that I get some sort of advancement with all the extra stuff that I'm taking on. So for all of you who want to send me positive vibes and good lucks, keep them coming. I could really use them. But other than that, just really take day by day instead of, you know, my usual getting overwhelmed with the constant minutia of everyday life and just continue taking my days hour by hour, minute by minute, and stop worrying about what I can't control. And that seems to be one of the hardest things to do with myself because it's been so long of worrying about stuff I can't control, as well as repeatedly getting overwhelmed with something that just popped up out of the blue, which that happens a lot. And I can't let that bother me. It's not that it's a trigger. That I still have, as you guys may remember from previous episodes, I have been working with triggers. One popped up, not related to work today. I have not had a trigger at work for quite some time. One almost did today, but I squished that mother. So I got that handled all nice and squeaky clean. And then
Nice.
with this, I really would like to grow our audience. But again, that just takes networking skills, and I wanted to reach out to one of my Facebook groups that has a massive following that would apply to this podcast. Girl Dads. I have to find out a contact for them. If you want, all you dads out there who have daughters, it's a good group, very supportive, and check it out. But I gotta find out the admin of that group and see if they want to either A, promote us, or B, have some sort of involvement regarding guests, content. I don't know, just something to expand our audience, expand our listening network, and maybe get some constructive criticism in there as well to make some improvements for you all, since you all don't seem to like to write to us. Not a negative thing at all, just saying. Crickets. And then also make more time for family, which should be relatively easy with the projects that the kids could help, as well as some sort of one-off vacations, whether that be to a relative's or to another state. That's what I got. I mean, I'm really trying to stay hopeful, but even though these last couple of days have just been complete hell, I'm really gonna try to continue where I left off in 23 with the no news, the limited drinking, the limited unhealthy foods, and see where that takes me. Instead of getting overwhelmed and stress eating, which I do that. It's not anything to, beat yourself over the head with, but it happens to the best of us who have office jobs. I'm sure you have had bouts of stress eating,
Stress eating? Sure. I think I started thinking about this earlier today too. I'm like, man, I stopped eating more because I'm no longer working from home.
Yep.
Like it wasn't so much stress eating as I'm bored and I'm looking for something to occupy myself
That too.
with. So the food just came naturally and was like, yep, here you go. Here's your food. Good for you. So that's where I think that helped. And because it's funny when you talk about that, the stress eating or whatnot, Sam had mentioned to me a while back that my bubble butt was disappearing.
Oh no, not the bubble butt.
She's like, your bubble butt's going away. Like, it's gone. I'm like, maybe it's because I'm eating less.
Yeah. Well, you're on your feet more too, aren't you?
I mean, I'm on my feet more. Yeah, kind of walking around more often. I've really noticed that too when I go into like my games or my apps on my phone, and then I come back, like log in for the week or whatever, the start of the week, and it says you've done this, like you've walked this far. I'm like, damn, over an entire week I've walked this many kilometers, and
Nice.
I'm in basically just going around in a circle day in day out for 9 to 10 hours a day. It's like, okay, if you say so, I'll take it. So knowing that you can go so far in just one area, right? I mean, granted, I really wasn't doing that before, where I was just staying at home in my basement going up and down stairs. That doesn't count
Yeah.
apparently, as much as me walking around from station to station, working with patients and whatnot. So, it's very interesting to see how that all changes. But yeah, no, stress eating's kind of gone away. I am snacking a little more, or not a little more, but I'm snacking more so than actually eating a lot. I'll bring like I have those Austin crackers, like cheese and filled crackers or whatnot. I bring those to work, like a package of them, and then eat like one or two a day, like one or two full packs of those a day. When I get to take breaks and whatnot. So it's nice because that allows me to do that. Versus having a full meal and continuing to eat anyways. Um, Not saying I'm not going hungry throughout the day. I'm not coming home starved either. I'm coming home still felt well fed. So just a change in the diet, I guess, is kind of nice in
Yeah.
regards to that. But um, so no, I'm not. I wouldn't say. I mean, it would have been stress eating more or less again boredom or eating out of boredom while at home because of how boring it can be working from home and not having anybody to socialize with. So
Yeah.
as far as new things, I know you had talked about like date nights or whatnot. Um, I want to. So talking about food and cooking and whatnot, there are some new recipes. So I know I've mentioned this in the past episodes where I've gotten like a Pokemon cookbook for my birthday. I want to take those recipes and change them up a bit because some of them are more geared towards vegans or vegetarians. Um, so just I want to take some time to actually look at those and use those. I know a while back too. Um, I went through this big kick for an anime slash manga called Food Wars. It's very how do I say this? I know there's like a word for it, but it definitely appeals more to the fans. It's like fan service. That's what it is. It's fan service. So keeping the fans interested by doing things. Uh, every time somebody takes a bite of somebody's food, they kind of have like this sensation,
Yeah.
like a yeah. It's sensual. It's a sensual sensation, to say the least. Um, but I want to try some new recipes. I actually started writing down those recipes from the manga, the Food Wars manga. Um, I have to find them, but I've had to like every like manga or volume had like one or two recipes in them. So I have like oh god, like 72 recipes from those alone that I have to find and try or eventually want to try, which means I have to go get the ingredients for. So just taking the time to find the fresh organic ingredients and actually take time to do that and see how it compares to, in the house and how children may like it as something new. So expanding the recipe horizon there a bit, becoming more of a cook in that regards, rather than just doing the usuals that we do, which is like chicken and hamburger and whatnot. So um, I look forward to trying that. Maybe start expanding that here this year, um, with a little more time since I'll have like a 3 day weekend versus a 2.5 day weekend, and
Yeah.
whatnot. So it'll be kind of nice. But um, as far as work related here, I don't I won't say I'm necessarily stressed out. Uh, there are definitely stressful moments at work, as we all have. Um, but what I want to start doing here is eventually, and this will come down to talking with Sam as well, but making like a pro and con chart or a T chart of pros and cons of maybe becoming a hygienist versus staying as a dental assistant or ortho assistant. Um, I know there was somebody that used to work as an ortho assistant um, at our company, and she had actually gone over and become a hygienist. works for the company still, but now she's on a completely different team and everything. Um, so I don't know if I would do that and maybe try to, or I mean, still an option as well, but maybe j- jump ship in a sense and see if there's openings at different dental assistant or different dental offices. Um, I like my job. Do not get me wrong, but at the same time, still open. Keep doors open, um, and see if I really expand my knowledge of the dental world and such. Where I still have different things throughout the day that are happening, but it might be at a slower pace at this point. So just continuing the career path of in the dental world, really. And if I'm truly content within ortho, or do I find something in the more general side of things, or what there it may be. So who knows? It just comes down to making a T chart, pros and cons, that I really want to focus on. So I'll have to make time for that as well here, down the line, and get back to you or decide, figure out what I do really decide to do. So, another huge thing personally would be, on top of that, getting back into streaming.
Yeah.
I've been on a very long hiatus of streaming. Um, I would love to actually start doing that again. And now that my daughter is 1 year old, and she does sleep pretty much through the night and whatnot, if I can get her to go down at a reasonable time, I can certainly start streaming again, which would be nice for myself. But we'll see as things progress. It does become a little more favorable, especially towards those weekends that I don't have to, like on a Thursday night, and do, a 3-day weekend. That that might be the time I start streaming again. But who knows? Haven't really decided that yet. Haven't really come up with a schedule. It's just one of those things that really crossed my mind recently. Is I want to get back into that. So, and maybe even start. That's another thing we'll have to talk about or discuss, is doing something about that, called evolution. Um, I guess the other thing I'd want to do as well, kind of as one of the last personal things, um, is really knock out more anime/manga. Um, I've been focused on, it's a really popular One Piece. For those of you who know it or have heard about it, it's a pirate or an anime about pirates. Main character is Monkey D. Luffy, who's like the rubber man. He ate a devil fruit, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I am only 100 some episodes in, so I basically scratched the surface because they're at like 1,000+ episodes. So I'm only a tenth of the way into the whole thing. It
That's
is
gonna
like
take a while.
I'm pretty sure it's the longest. It is the longest running anime and manga out there right now. I'm pretty sure it's the longest running. Um, I think it
Wow.
started back in like '99. Let's see here, just to confirm. One Piece, 1997 is when it first started.
Wow.
So it's been going on for 17 years. Um, and they have, let's see here.
It's crazy.
There's 107 volumes, which means and they do like 7 or 6 or so, 5 or 6 chapters each volume. So just imagine that. They do have some spin-offs and whatnot as well. Yeah, it looks like they haven't even stopped yet, because here I'm just looking at it. The first volume of manga was released on December 24th, 97, and by November 2nd of last year, a total of 107 volumes have been released. Uh, and they do have like TV series. They've got movies, like theatrical films. They even have a live action series that just recently came out. They've got light novels. So you know, they've got a whole thing of this. But besides that, I want to dig into more anime, more manga. I've been watching some things when I have some downtime. but I want to knock more of them out than I've been able to in the past. So that's kind of another personal thing. As far as like Jared said, uh, networking for the podcast itself here, get more people. One of the goals would really to be get more guests, which will certainly come with the networking side of things. As you've noticed, or we've had in the past, some guests talk about specific topics. Maybe one of these days we'll just have a guest that just comes on and shoots the shit with us. If we have, not necessarily has to be topic specific, but if we have some sort of thing in mind, such as a plan or a goal that we want, like this, having goals and having a guest's goals, whatnot, would be ideal. So for parents out there, if you want to create plans or have something going, I would start thinking about this. It's early enough in the year for yourself. You can start thinking about what's something you want to start tackling. For example, Jared's projects, his outdoor projects for the summer that have to come up, like the landscaping. That's going to be huge. That's going to definitely take all summer. Um, Unfortunately, I haven't done what I wanted to do this year either, or this winter, which is finish my basement. Um, I'll probably get back to it eventually here once things stabilize more, and we can have children just watch each other rather than have to worry about a whiny child because she's not able to access the basement or have access to her parents at the time either. Um, you know, understand that yes, mommy and daddy are still around just because she can't see them. She's in that phase right now, or in that state of mind where, oh, daddy's gone, so or daddy's not in my line of sight, daddy's not around, right? So it's like where's daddy kind of thing, and she does like to fuss about that. But no, so one of the podcast goals that I have in mind or hopes is really to expand on our guests a little bit. Maybe that becomes like a guest a week or every so often, but that also will come with more pre-planning or planning ahead of time. So kind of work on expanding our planning phase here, Jared, uh, is what something we can talk about on the side as well. So that's all I really have though for that. And because I think it would be fun to have more guests, be able to provide more of that community as much as we have that. We're reaching out to the parenting community. If you feel alone as a parent, again, we're here for you. We're trying to provide our stories, our experiences, our thoughts that can certainly help you get along or move forward on the parenting track. And maybe some things you don't think about, like these plans or these goals or whatever you may have
Right.
for a year. It doesn't even have to be a year. It could just be for a month. But you have to start somewhere. So just kind of having these ideas of what you want to do or is a great way to have, it's like a rough sketch or a rough draft of an art or a piece of artwork or writing, right? um, have something written down, have something in the back of your mind of what you want to do, and maybe start bringing it to fruition through smaller things. Again, having a long-term goal that you want, like bringing guests on, um, or more or less doing something in regards to the podcast, like networking. So bringing more guests on, that would require, a step of us to network. Like Jared said, he's already got like the dad's girls or something like that
Girl
on
dads.
Facebook that he's girl dads. Yeah. So he's
Yep.
already part of that group. So if he, when he has some downtime, it's reach out, sending a message to people or however it works out in that group. Let's see what they can offer or how they can help. Right. So it's starting small or having that big goal in mind, but then also again having those small steps, right? Those how do we get to that spot fast, or not fast, but how do we get to that spot of what we want to do in the long run? So um, there are definitely things that I want to look at with you, Jared, on the side, like I said, but we'll have to get together early enough to do that as well. So, guys, I don't know if there's anything else. We'd love to hear back. That's a great way to help us. But we will definitely see what we can do for you here later on. Let us know what you're more into as well. That will help us build a better community as well for you folks. So let us know. You can send us an email, leasheddads14@gmail.com. You can always send us a Facebook message, or you can send us, pretty sure you can send us some information via like Spotify. Use that Q&A side of things, or like the question, the poll, to let us know what you're more interested in. Otherwise, TikTok as well works. You can reach out to me on TikTok, direct message, whatever you want to do, whatever you're most comfortable with. Commenting, we'll see what we can do to incorporate some of those things as well. But without further ado, if you guys have anything, let us know. We are Leash Dads, and happy late New Year to all of you. And we will definitely see you next time. Anything else?
Well,
Bye, guys.
Take care.